Hello, gentlemen. Today I'm going to break down 5 tips that are going to help you win more games in college football 25. Let's get into it. Tip number 1 is going to be user a linebacker or a second level defender and know your assignment. So this is going to be kind of a two-parter. And some of you might argue with me about this. I know there's some serious D-line users out there, but you don't see anybody doing that at the competitive level. Not one person uses a defensive line, and I'm going to explain why. So the main reason you don't want to be on your defensive lineman is that you cannot lurk any routes. So your opponent is basically just going to be staring down at computer defenders, making the easiest reads of his life. So I'm going to demonstrate that by just putting a basic route combo on the field. So we'll go ahead and let's motion him out so we can have a high-low over the middle of the field. We'll streak, clear out for this crosser, and put our running back on a drag. So we just have this high-low between B and RB, and notice how they can't do anything about it. Like, we're just throwing against the computer, and this is a massive gain. They can't use the drag or check down underneath, and the crosser above it is wide open for a massive gain. And now I'm going to show you what it's like when you use a second level defender like a linebacker. So when I say second level, it usually means linebacker. In some cases, it can be a safety. But let me make this very clear. I would rather you be on an outside cornerback sometimes than be on a defensive lineman. Because if you're going to use, let's say this cornerback here, he's going to be really scared to throw towards the side of the field. So you're discouraging throws, and you still have the opportunity to lurk things. Now, I don't recommend you be on your outside cornerback much, if at all. I'm just saying it's better than defensive lineman, in my opinion. So let's go ahead and look at the same route combination, and I'll show you the difference. So we'll use this linebacker right here on the right side. And what you're going to see is it's just scarier. Like, you can't throw to that crosser. Yes, the drag's going to be open, but who cares about the drag? Like, if they want to do their little checkdowns, let them have it, and then we can adjust to it later. You can't give them huge gains. You just can't. So we'll do it again, and I'll show you can kind of bait between the two as well. It's going to be a little bit hard with the linebacker, but I'll try my best. You can go over here and then come back down and come down here. So you kind of muddy up the read, and you at least have a chance of getting a lurk opportunity. So highly recommend being on a linebacker or a second level defender. And then the second part of tip number 1 is to know your assignment. So let's say you're using the double Mabel coverage that I showed you from yesterday. So let's say let's actually just do a Mabel coverage. We'll just put 2 flats on one side. So go ahead and put this guy into a curl flat at 30 yards, and maybe bring this guy down here, and we're going to user this guy. So when you're usering this guy here, your mindset needs to be, we have the sideline completely covered over on the left side. We have 2 flats. We have this curl flat. He's going to drop to 30. We have this flat zone that's going to drop to 10. And then we have this outside third that's going to defend the deep sideline. Our sideline is completely good to go. So you have to ask yourself, where is my weakness? My weakness is going to be pretty much everywhere that I'm running around, and then up this seam if they have the right route combination. So all of this is my territory. And then once I get to about here, I can pass off any routes to that hook zone and to that cloud flat. So you just have to know this is my area of the field. So let's put a route combo on the field that will attack a Mabel coverage. So I can show you what it might look like. So we'll do a wheel from the running back, and then let's do a flat from B, and then we'll do it in route. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Look for the weakness, just like this. That's your part of the field. Everything else is covered. Yes, the pass rush isn't coming in because we only sent 3, but the whole point was you just need to know your responsibility, and you need to know what covers what. Like, we covered the sideline completely. That curl flat was actually a little too deep for that corner route, but the point still remains. So there was a window for this seam to the running back right here. He could have thrown him. The point is, you're lurking between these 2 routes. But yes, there was a window for this running back, but this was a route combination designed to put the user in conflict and attack a Mabel coverage, and you're not going to always see that. So I wouldn't worry about that aspect of it too much. The whole purpose is focus on your part of the field, know what's covered, and know what you need to cover. Before I get into the next tip, make sure to join our Discord. You can find the link to it in the description as well as the comment section. Great place to get better at the game. You can ask me questions whenever and play against other players or whatever you want to do, but make sure to join it and I'll see you guys in there. Tip number 2 is having a plan before you decide to use switch stick. So I've talked about this in a different video, but really the idea behind this is switch stick is not supposed to be a reactionary tool. This is something you're supposed to know you're going to use pre-snap and how you're going to use it, because whenever you switch off of a player, your player that you switched off of is going to go play something else. Well, he's going to go play his responsibility. So you need to put that into consideration. And then you need to just think about what you're going to do with your user on that play. So what I did was come out in cover 4 quarters. And what I'm going to say before the snap here is I'm going to say, I don't have a double Mabel, only have this quarter flat right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run out here and discourage the throw to the bunch side with my user. And then I'm going to switch back to the middle of the field if I need to. So right here, I purposely called a play that's really flowing from right to left. So what you're going to see is I go out here, I don't like what I see, I go to my 3-rec, and I take away the crosser. So that's just a good example. And I like using spies too, because what you can do is cover something first, and then you can just click off of him and then let the spy chase the quarterback. It's going to be good for, when you send 3, because there's going to be a lot of coverage on the field and your opponent is going to want to run with his quarterback. So you can do something like this, run down here, and then let him go back to his spy or whatever. So that's just, 2 use cases. I don't even think I've scratched the surface on how many use cases switch stick has, but that's the kind of mindset you need to have before any given snap. It's not reactionary. It's something that you plan for. Tip number 3 is have good spacing in your route combinations. So I'm going to show you a bad example and a good example. So we're going to start with the play slants. If you like slants, then I'm sorry, I'm about to take a dump all over your favorite play, but slants kind of sucks. So the reason that this play is bad is because all of your routes are just kind of running into each other. And, if they play a man coverage, then obviously, yeah, you could get separation on multiple of them. But the point is the user can kind of just stand here in the middle and just defend everything. You see how nothing's getting open? Yes, it's a cover 2, so it's going to defend this pretty well. And man, this 3-man rush is not coming in. The point is you can stand in the middle and you don't really have to do much with your user. There's nothing stressing the user because there's nothing that's getting over vert hooks, which are yellow zones. There's nothing that's getting over flat zones. It's just a awful play against somebody who knows what they're doing. So what I'm going to do now is show you what you need to have on the field. So I'll come out in the same formation. So it's, not like a meta formation or anything. It's just gun doubles offset. And I'll give you a good example of good spacing. So we'll call X dagger and we'll go against cover 2 again. Cover 2 drop. And what we're looking for here is we kind of just have this high-low between the drag and this post from X. Now, you can improve the spacing on this. I would say maybe put the running back on a wheel and then maybe stem this dig up if we can. Perfect. So this is going to get over the yellow zones, underneath deep zones. And now we just have a basic high-low. Now, you could probably improve this even more by maybe putting the tight end on an in route. I think this is probably going to improve the timing and the spacing a little bit. So let's have a look. What you're going to see is we now have a better play because we're getting over these yellow zones that the user is going to have to cover. He has to account for this dig now, because if he doesn't account for it, he's going to give up a 20+ yard gain. So you see how we have the dig over the middle. So let's emulate the user here. So we'll do the exact same thing. Okay. And I'll user this guy. I'll be like, okay, here's the tight end in. And I'm like, okay, well, there's my dig. Maybe the dig needs to go a little bit deeper, but you guys see the point. We had a pretty big gain right there, or a big possible gain right there in the middle. If I just maybe wait just a little bit longer. Vert hooks in this game actually play really, really well. To be honest, I'm just surprised how good they are. But the user had to run with this in route. He had no choice. Otherwise, we're getting a 10+ yard gain. And that's just a good example of spacing. You can do this on plenty of plays. And it's all about high lows over the middle of the field or high lows on the sideline. Tip number 4 is have a plan pre-snap and then confirm it immediately post-snap. So basically what I'm saying is that when you walk up out of the huddle, you should have an idea of what you think their coverage is. It could be based on what their shell is or what they've been calling all game. But regardless, you need to have an idea of what you think they're in. Now, reading a defense pre-snap and post-snap is a very in-depth topic. If you guys want me to cover that, let me know in the comment section and drop a like. That'll let me know there's interest in that. But basically what I'm looking at here is that I see 2 high safeties. So it's telling me cover 2, cover 4. They could be disguising their shell. It could be a cover 3. But when I see 2 high, my immediate thought is cover 2. So what I'm going to do is put a cover 2 beater on the field. Okay, so I'm going to try to get over that cloud flat, assuming they have one, by motioning this guy over. This is one of my favorite cluster route combinations from, I believe, Madden 22 when I ran cluster. And then I'll put like the running back on an angle route. Or Texas, whatever you want to call it. So the idea behind this is we want to get over the cloud flat on the left. And then what? Let's actually snap it to see if I'm right. Let's see if it's a cover 2. Okay, so this is actually a cover 4. This is a match coverage. But the great thing about, knowing what routes do is this route is also a man beater. So we were expecting this to get over a cloud flat, but then we knew this is also going to be an option versus man coverage. And that's just where, like, playing the game a lot, you get that kind of knowledge. That's not something that I can just teach everybody in one video, but that's just route knowledge. And then we have this Texas over the middle of the field. That's going to be really good versus man coverage as well, or as a check down versus cover 2. So like right here, I have it on random play. I don't know if it's actually on random play. Let me actually check. Okay, yeah, so this is a good example. So this is a cover 3 now, but you see how it's still 2 high safeties? So this is actually disguised. Now if we motion this guy over, he might come down. Let's see. Yeah, so he comes down. So now it's 1 high, and to me it's obvious it's cover 3, but it could also be a cover 1. That's also another popular single high safety look. We'll do the same route combination, and now we'll be like, okay, it's a cover 3. So what are we looking for here? Well, we're going to see if this fade from X can clear out an outside third. I actually don't know if he can from this side. We're going to take a look. But if he doesn't, we're going to look at, the wheel route from the tight end or that inside receiver or Texas. So it's kind of my thought process here. Okay, so it looks like the outside third doesn't get cleared out completely, but now we know that. But yeah, I'm starting to realize this tip is a little hard to teach in a short time constraint. This is something that requires quite a bit of knowledge. And if you want me to do that, drop a like, let me know in the comment section, because it's going to just let me know that a lot of you need to know how to read a coverage. But yeah, I realize that I'm not giving you guys the best explanation. But the point is, do not just mindlessly come up to the line of scrimmage and snap the ball. Like, please just have a quick look at the defense and make a educated guess. It's okay if you're wrong. You just need to have good route combinations that, you have backup answers. Because, like, let's say you call a man beater. So I know this deep crosser is a man beating route. What else on this play can beat man? The answer is really nothing. This is kind of a zone beating play. But we can change it. We can make it a man beating play. So I can maybe say, like, Texas from my running back. Maybe motion him over here. Get a high-low between him and that crosser. And then we could be like, okay, let's put A on a zig. So now we have 3 man beating routes. We have a zig, we have a Texas, and we have a crosser. And the great news is this is also going to be good against zones. So we now have a route combination that's going to effectively attack both man and zone. So let's snap the ball and see what happens. So right here, this was zone, but we still have good options versus man. So it's all about having kind of everything beaters all the time, because you need to always have a backup option no matter what defense your opponent's in. And tip number 5, I can't believe I'm about to say this. Practice your field goals. I can't believe how hard they are this year. Like, I've missed so many just going through the motions. And this is Heisman. The meter's moving extremely quickly. And you can mess up if you're not locked in. Like, this is actually difficult. So go to practice mode. I'm going to walk you through the new meter and how it works. And then we'll talk about how to practice it. So the thing that's moving back and forth, that's going to be your accuracy meter. And you want it to land on green. So as soon as you are ready to get it on green, you hit A or X, and that's going to go ahead and start the power meter. As you can see, I suck. But That's the gist. So you want it to get it on green, and then the power is going to start. And then you want to stop it before it gets to the very top, because if you look at that arrow for your power meter, the very top of that arrow is a red tip. And you don't want to touch that red tip. Pause. So right there, that's what's going to happen if you touch that red tip. Now, before I show you how to practice this, I do want to mention that if you want the kick to go further, you do want to pull down on your left stick. Watch what the arrow does. You're going to see that it kind of lowers. That's going to make the ball go further. It does lower the trajectory of the kick, but who cares? I've never seen a kick blocked in Madden or in college football by lowering your stick. So make sure you pull down on it, especially for these kicks that are further away. So this is like a 47-yard field goal. So I'm going to go ahead and practice it now. Right there, boom, we nail it right there in the middle. Now these ones that are between the hashes are really not that hard. But if you respot the ball and we go to let's say right here, it just becomes more difficult because and your controller starts vibrating and it's just scary. So let me try to get it here. So I'm purposely not getting towards the top because I don't want to hit that red tip. But just go to practice mode and just get used to this new meter. It's really pretty difficult. And, if you're in a loud environment or whatever, not just in this chill practice facility, it's going to be way, way harder. Right there, that was a good one. Well, I thought it was a good one, but just proof that, this is not easy. And this is not even a 50-yard field goal. But honestly, it should be this way. These college level kickers aren't that good. Even pro level kickers will miss stuff like this. Anyways, that's going to be it for the video. Hopefully this helps you guys out. Please drop a like if you did. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. And then if you need additional help, acemadden.com is the place to be. We have 2 schemes up already, and we're going to have more very soon. So just go check that out. I'll see you guys in the next one.